Good evening, everyone. How are you today? Let me just get rid of this banner here, and we're ready to go. Good evening. It's so good to be here and share some light with you today. Here from Israel. Unfortunately, we're still in a war here, and I'm praying my hardest. I'm using any power of manifestation that I might ever possess to pray for the end of this war and for everybody to try their best to follow the real purpose here in life. And enough with the wars, enough with the violence, enough with this negativity. We want to share light. Unfortunately, there are some events that are almost in biblical scales. A lot of energies are going on in the world, so it's beyond our control. But all we have to do is in moments like these, like what we see going on in the world right now, this is when we need to turn it up and shine our light even more. So tonight I wanted to do this live because when you see what I'm about to show you, and it's nothing, don't expect anything magical in a way of you going to see miracles like you expect. But when you see what I show you today, as far as how numbers are the actual portals, numbers are the breadcrumbs you have to on your way back home to find your way back home. And again, I'm talking spiritually. The more you have consciousness, the more you live your life as a soul, and I've said it many, many times, the more these miracles are revealed to you, the more these signs are given to you. Once you choose your soul journey, which is your real path, you can't go wrong. You really can't go wrong on the spiritual level. You have to just embrace life. So I'm going to start saying that over the past 2 years, me and my wife have been encountering these numbers together, which is really weird. When we spiritually awakening, because it's a personal experience, it's a personal journey. When we spiritually awakening, we really just face our own miracles, our own discoveries, our own moments, because it's an individual journey. But at times, your soul contract can match you up with a person with another soul or the same soul in two bodies in the idea of twin flame that you're going to do spiritual work together. So if you're supposed to do spiritual work together with an individual in this life, then you most likely will witness the miracles together. And miracles are out there, signs are out there. Don't wait to pass from this life to experience the afterlife. Your soul does not go from a state of physical to a state of a soul. Your soul is always a soul. It's how much you're willing to remember where you came from before you were born, how much you're willing to learn what you are here and what's your purpose. Why are you in this body? Why are you this personality? Why do you live with these people? What are you supposed to do? And when you realize that, just realize what's your goal and where you're going afterwards. It's not black and white. It's really not black and white. Spirituality is the most amazing, and yet, like, think about like brain cells. You know how if you analyze the brain through a MRI scan or CT scan, and I not remember which one exactly, but there's some gazillions amount of nerves, and just it's all like roots. They all spread out to different directions, and they're all in charge of something. If one of them would be missing, or would be malfunctioning in somebody's brain, then that can make a huge effect on that person's behavior or ability to function normally. And it's the same thing with our soul. We have so many avenues. There's just so many things that we can explore. But again, in this life, you have to not just wait for the miracles to come to you. That's a mistake to have. Nobody owes you nothing spiritually. You really owe to yourself. And I'm not saying this in a bad way. We really owe to ourselves. It's our job, it's our journey. These are our fears, our obstacles. We all have a unique soul contract that we have to follow. Question is, how do you know what you have to follow? What do you see when things are getting weird? Do you ignore them? Do you just put a post on Facebook saying, hey, I had the coolest thing, and then you just look at it as a cool thing that comes in and out? Or are you going to dive really deep, deep into the depths of the secret of the message of your dream, of the number of the bird or the butterfly? We all live our moments. And you have to pay attention, because once you see it, it's like you see in the path home. It's like you see in the way. It's like you're driving middle of nowhere in darkness, and all you want to see is a traffic sign that's going to tell you how to get home. And when you get these messages, then you know you're on the right track, because all you have to do is listen, react with love, know what it is. Once you know it, it's no longer a problem. It's no longer a quest. So before I met my wife, I ended up coming here because of a war from the United States, left everything. Like, you have to understand, when you live a spiritual life, you're going to have to become the most spontaneous person in the world. And I'm not talking about, let's just go and do something last minute fun. Or like spontaneous meaning you're going to let life take you. You're going to be like a leaf in the wind. Do you know how leaves fall from the wind? They just go, they swing side to side. And slowly they just carried by the wind. They trust the wind, and then they fall. They don't just drop. And you have to be like that, and you have to let life take you. Like, react to life and not act. That's the problem. That's the battle between the ego and the soul. There's a battle of action because our body needs it now. There's some things that our body craves, mostly physical things. Even missing somebody that you love, like a partner, a lot of it is a physical need. So you miss them, so it bothers you. So you think that, it doesn't happen, and it might not happen. So you get fears and anger and anxiety. And living your life fully spiritually, fully spiritually, will reveal these miracles to you. I call it, meet your miracles halfway and don't wait on them. Meet your miracles halfway. And it's really, really important to know, because we manifest everything in our life. When people talk about aligning with your soul journey, is exactly what it is. It's aligning. It's just find where your physical journey, meaning your life, are going to cross with your soul journey, with your main purpose. And then it's perfect alignment. And then you just go straight. You appreciate every day. You feel blessed. You're full of light. You just want to, and then you encounter the people and the souls you're supposed to encounter. And all of a sudden, you will understand life so much better. Than you just don't have time for sadness or disappointment or anything like that. There's no time. There's only the need to do good and to spread our light. And that's a beautiful feeling, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you everything, you know, based on my experiences, based on my life, for what's going on with me and my spiritual awakening. And the Lord knows, and those who know me know that I wasn't like that. I wasn't awakened before. I did almost every mistake on the book, but I wanted to try to find the truth. I was just trying to find physical solutions to spiritual problems, and you can never do that. And by the way, guys, I will read comments in the end. I promise you. I want to give your comments the full attention, because we're all sharing messages. If you don't mind, guys, you can share this live video, and if you watch it in the middle and you want to watch it later, that's also cool. You can watch it from the beginning. So again, I'm going to make a long story short and tell you that Kim here, I met my wife, my current wife, Lisa, uh, my twin flame, and it's almost like one of these things that you and here's the story. Like I'm going to tell you, I'm going to share it with you. It's not about getting personal with you. It's more getting inspirational with you. Like with my wife, at the time I was in America. I was in different other side of the world, and my wife's late mother like came to me in my dream before I even knew who that woman was, who my wife would be, and almost guided me to her. And there was other people that told me that your twin flame is waiting for you overseas. Just go and meet her. I started collecting signs, and I was psychic at the time. I was spiritually awakening. It was a lot, many years after my accident, and I felt that there's just something so powerful in there, in the way that you know you found your match when you really experience life together with them, like not together, like you're not sharing experiencing with them, because when you love somebody as a soulmate or even have somebody you're just dating, you share a beautiful moment with them and you both enjoy the moment. But when you are with who your soul is contracted to be, or who your soul is, your other part of your soul, then you're experiencing life on a spiritual level together. Like your thoughts are the same thoughts. You use telepathy every day, all day. Like you talk, your souls talk to each other. You experience so much of life's shifting moments together. You make like decision together. You just like one soul in two bodies, and it's amazing. It's amazing because it's true. And what I'm getting to is that you also experience the miracles together. And I wanted to tell you that my I didn't know anything about my wife's my late mother-in-law, who I never got to meet, but I felt a connection to her soul. At times, my wife tells me that she thinks that I'm a reincarnated the soul of her mom, because we just the similarities, the little pet peeve, little small details are so similar. Anything can happen. We're not supposed to remember who we were and who we reincarnated, but I felt that her mom was sending me to her, and for a purpose. And just from there on, we didn't really have to do anything to make the relationship like that. Like it was not even a work that needed to be done on the physical level. It was the spiritual that took over completely. So we started seeing things together. And at the end, I'm going to show you how everything adds up, because when you get numbers that are signs, it can be signs from spirit guides, which is your ancestors who were old souls that you don't even know, and they're just in level of like just a little beneath angels. These are the spirit guides. They're ascended masters, the people that reached a very high level of consciousness while they were alive. And even biblical Enoch was one of those. You just saw the portals, you walked with God apparently. So there's some people who can get to, and that's what I'm trying to do. If I'm destined to do it, there's some people out there, they're destined to experience the afterlife while they're still living in this life, which is what they call heaven on earth. You ever heard that term, heaven on earth? This is what it is. It's a feeling of bliss. It's a feeling of knowing exactly what your purpose is, and it's actually doing your purpose. And everything is just like working out for you. It's beautiful. So just 1 second, with your permission. Just had a session, so I've been speaking a lot in the past few hours. But again, these are the things that is my life purpose. So I wanted to speak to you about the number 27 and 7. These are the numbers that appeared to both me and my wife together, never alone. It was never alone, it was always together. It was almost if these numbers were chasing us everywhere we went. And I have to split the time to the times that we were still figuring this out, meaning it was like a 6 months to almost a year of these things just happening to us and happening to us. And we didn't think about documenting anything. But after almost a year, I decided to tell my wife, I said, you know what? One day I want to talk about this. One day I want to show people, hey, I mean, there's not much proof you can really bring into this world from the afterlife aside from these kind of signs, right? Like when you just have synchronicities and you have numbers. I mean, And why do you think I'm doing this live podcast today? 11:11. Okay, not a gateway to the afterlife, and not one of these beautiful portals. And we do it today. There's a lot of light, because today the atmosphere is very thin between the spiritual atmosphere. It is. So the numbers that we used to bump to are 27 and 7. We used to see it everywhere we go. And after a few months, like I said, we decided to document. I decided to tell my wife, listen, take a picture every time you see that number, and what's that number trying to tell us? And it was so much work of trying to figure out until I said, hey, we'll be able to know when it's time for us to know. Right now, embrace those miracles. You don't question miracles. If your mother or father, when you were a kid, giving you a gift, something expensive for being good, you don't question that gift. Well, it could have been this, or it could have been that, or what did you mean? Or you just said, thank you so much. I'll figure this out. The same thing you got to do with your miracles. When they come into your life, you have to first be appreciative. You have to welcome them with a smile. You have to acknowledge that, hey, some higher powers are talking to you. You're special. You have a meaning. You're more than just somebody who works 9 to 4 and do the same thing over and over again and just waiting to retire and pass. Way more than that. So when these signals are coming, even before trying to figure them out, acknowledge that they exist and let them reveal themselves, because we're getting signs just like we would do when we play like I don't know, some sort of a murder mystery game. They give you clues and signs, and then you have to find out who's the person who did this. And it's the same thing with the soul. We're getting messages, we're getting signs, and once we know and acknowledge that these signs are there for us, then you just sit back and watch how your life unfolds and gives you bigger and bigger miracles, because all you have to do is align with the fact that there are miracles. And miracles will come to you in the way that this physical world will allow. Don't expect to see light bulbs and I don't know, like spiritual things in the physical reality. But do look for synchronicities. Do look for the deja vu moments. Do look for your intuition. Look for your dreams. Look for your daydreamings. Look for the just moments, like life shifting moments that you know that are there for you for a bigger purpose. So I'm going to start by saying that. So we started documenting the 27 and 7, and my dear wife, which again, without her, none of that would be possible. I'm the one speaking. She's the force behind it. We are two moving parts that make something work. And I always have to appreciate her. She's a lot of the time she's behind the scene. She doesn't crave the credit. And I'm kind of like the face of this page. But I'm telling you, she does an amazing thing, and her light is involved in this just as much as mine is. So we were trying to figure out how to get this into this podcast, how to show you um, like what we encountered. So she did it for me, and I'm kind of looking at myself for the first time at this presentation. The soul guy doesn't plan his lives. I don't really get everything written down or structure. I'm just sitting here and speaking. But I'm going to start with this presentation, and I'm going to try to make it full screen. But I want to see if when I do it full screen, if any of you can comment that you can still hear my voice, because I would like to go over some of the stuff. So I'm going to make the screen full. Can anybody still hear me? Maybe give me a thumbs up to know that you can hear me. Screen is full, and I'm going to go over the first presentations are the numbers that me and my wife encountered. So we started first with a list. We downloaded this app and we're like, okay, these things are happening to us. Let's write it down. And then we have some pictures and even videos, because these things are still chasing us. Like her mom and angels, ascended masters. It's like everywhere we go, they go with us. And it's the best feeling in the world. So if anyone can hear me, all right, you can hear me. I got a sign. So let's start with the numbers. So first it was 17 was there too, but then it was a lot of just 7 and 27, 7 and 27. So right now we have it in headlines here. So this is the end, but I want to start from the beginning. And if I can see it, sorry, a second. Okay, I'll start from the end. We I got a video about this, so you're gonna see this. This is wicked. So we moved to this new building, right? And it was just like I think 2 months ago we moved to this building. And in this building, we moved to the seventh floor, and me and my wife were like, "Whoa, seventh floor! Yeah, it's exciting! Like, it's our number. It's going with us." And then I remember that since it's a big, long apartment building, there's few of them, so there's a lot of designated parking downstairs, and they're all numbered. And the way they're numbered, and I have a video to show you, and I'll show you that shortly. The way they're numbered, just random numbers. Everybody get a signed number. I would assume it would go by the apartment number. In our case, it's 35. But no, they're just random numbers. And soon enough, we find out the number that we get is 27. So our apartment floor is the seventh floor, and our random parking assignment was 27. There is a video for that. Um, 27 black screen before the Facebook video. I don't know if I have it here in the presentation, but one time I just wanted to go live video. I did one of those from a previous page. And no, it was from this page, from the Soul Guide. And before I went live, the screen went black, and then all we saw was like the number 27 just flashing, looking at us. And again, both me and my wife saw that, and we just didn't understand. Like there was just no reason for that number to be there. And again, guys, I'm not just reading you a list because, not that you question me, but some will be like, okay, well, how do we know it happened? I'm going to actually show you some pictures because we also stopped and took pictures, okay? So going to the third one. Now, stamp 27/7 in the pharmacy. Now, this is the most amazing miracle that I've seen, aside from my kids being born, of course. Um, as far as what I've seen in front of my eyes. So, like again, we were in America. We went to visit my kids in America, both me and my wife, and like I said, the numbers 27 and 7 always chase us. And we were talking about that. So we went to the pharmacy. We needed to get something at the pharmacy. I don't even remember what. You get a lot of things in America at the pharmacy. And I think it was October, either October or May. I don't know which one of those trips, but it was definitely not July, okay? And it was October, and we're going there, and I have a picture of that too. That's in the pictures, I think. We're going there, and a gentleman is in front of us. We're here to pay, and we see a stamp, like one of those stamps that has a date on them, and they're right in front of us in the front counter when we go there, and it says 27/7. It was July 27th on it. And it was like, it's not even today's date. It's like 3 months ago. What's going on? And I have a picture to show you. And it was just, and like we see it, we're experiencing it. It was like, it's not even funny. Like, what are you trying to tell us? Well, nothing. Trying to tell us that you're guided. Trying to tell us that you follow your path. So when you follow your path, you see what you're supposed to see. That's what I tell everybody. So flight seats, again, in one of those trips, we took a domestic flight, and they randomly changed our seats. So randomly, there was no reason. The plane was not even full. It was one of those little planes. It was like, listen, we're gonna have to change your seat. We don't argue ever. It was like, okay, well, we're sitting together anyways. We don't mind. And shortly enough, you find out your assigned seat is 27. And now I'm going to also show you another thing, but this is the end. So I'm going to skip that parents thing because this is how I found out that my wife's mom was talking to us, and possibly her dad, but I'm sensing her mom talking to us and guiding us. like standing right on the threshold between this realm and where she's at, and giving us signs nonstop through angels. So, like this parent one here that says Mary 27/7, that was only like towards the end when we found out what does that mean. We looked at the my wife's parents who both passed away before their time, but we looked at their marriage certificate and it says 27/7, and I have a picture of that to show you. So landed up at bus station platform 27. Yeah. So again, these things are very, very. They're not like once a year thing. I'm talking about we squeeze these. These are months, and it's like every day you encounter these numbers in front of you. And again, I'm going to get to the interesting pictures and videos, but right now I'm going to over the list and again try to resonate with that, because when you see a number next, and when you start, instead of just like thinking that it's cool or weird or I wonder what that means and then move on with your life, you have to grab that number like like grab that number like you have a spiritual net and never let it go, because that number is your next step in your life that you have to listen to. Someone asked for help and his hoodie had number 7 on it. Yeah, again, these are all close apart. So we're going, people, just random people coming talking to us. And, what are the odds somebody just go with a hoodie with number 7? And again, all these happened to me and my wife. Not like she told me and I told her and we share stories. No, that's encounters that two people encountered the same thing. Um, we're 7 years apart, both me and my wife. I'm 7 years older than her. She's 7 years younger. Um, I lived on the same street that my wife worked at, but it was like 15 years, 20 years ago. I lived in the street that my wife later on worked at, really close. And the numbers where the street name was Ibn Gabirol Street, the building was 124, which equals 7. And I lived right next door, the same street, 115, which equals 7. And again, it's almost like because the soul has no time limit. It's not bounded by time. Numbers are one of the ways. Numbers, musical notes, I'm telling you, is one of the ways and tools to be sending messages, notes to the afterlives and from the afterlife. So pay attention to numbers. Really, pay attention to numbers. There's not a lot of things that you can communicate through. So again, when you look at the things like, wow, 7 years old and 7 years younger, what else can find out about these 7 and 27? So we met 7 days from the 10th, which was the 17th. That's also a number that comes in a lot in our lives, but again, 7 days from the 10th. Now the birthdays. My son, my youngest son, was on the 7th of June. And then 10 days after is my oldest son on the 17th. And my wife, what I'm talking to you about, her date of birth is the 27th. All 10 times 10 apart. Locker in the hospital when I had surgery. Before you know it, the locker in my hospital, they give you lockers to put your personal belongings. And my locker in the hospital was 27. And again, because of the time frame, you don't get to forget that. You embrace it. So, and here's some more, and I hope you guys can see it. Remember I told you about the stamp, the 27/7 stamp? So we were standing here and I told my wife, okay, this is not the date. Please take a picture. I don't know if I can zoom, but I don't think so. But as you can see here, that stamp, it says 27/7. Same time we drive, and then we see a bus in front of us, the truck, sorry, in front of us, that semi, and it was in front of us for a long, long time. And if you look at the license plate, 07727, again, 07727, 17727. And we were staring at it the whole time, and I'm like, what's going on? Now we bumped into this instruction SOS alert message and whatnot. And you know how even when they advertise some sort of service and they want to say that they're available all the time, they say 24/7. And apparently, when we bumped into it and we got the email, it was 27/7, personal safety. So we found it very, very touching. We decided to save it. 127 started popping up everywhere, and this was by our building. So we go outside, me and my wife. I don't know if we took the dog that we had outside at the time, or we just walked to the store. But here we are, just walking, and we see that paper right on the floor in front of us, and you can see the pavement around it. My wife took that picture. 127. We went over that stamp, right? So look here, second one to the left. There's these two numbers, and there's these orange and blue stripes, and it was just somewhere that we walked to. I think it's like, I don't even remember, it's the doctor's office when we got off the train. We just walk and we just see this random thing, and then it says 27. When walking multiple locations in various places. So this was the bus stop, weather and time. Okay, the bus stop. That's the same day I'm talking about here. The one with the 27 on this concrete slab. But you can see it was 27 degrees and the time was 16:27. Okay, so like I said, there's a lot of 27. Um, Now, this is the building that we used to live in before we moved to this one. And if you can see top right with the arrow, the street name was Amishav 27. Piece of paper on shelf next to us. When an appointment, we went to this appointment and it wasn't that day. It was just recently. Just recently, I went to one of my follow-up appointments, and here we go. Before you know it, 27/7, 23. Like, what are the odds? So we're documenting it. Now look, my wife's phone. Your iCloud storage is full. 277 photos and 27 videos, and she had, and that's what haven't been synced to iCloud. Looks like all these numbers are showing up. And this is, by the way, the marriage certificate that I talked about. My in-laws, my wife's parents' marriage certificate. And we didn't know. After all these 27/7 appearances in our lives, almost like chasing us everywhere we go, I'm looking at this, and I think my wife didn't even remember when her parents got married. Like, it's not something you really, I mean, some of us do, but it's not something we always remember, especially they passed away, and her father passed away when she was young. So, yeah, she was 7 when he passed away. So, here we go, another 7. She just told me that live. I didn't know that. And the marriage certificate is here, and you can see that they got married on 27/7. They passed away. She's an orphan. We've been talking to her, especially her mom. She's been talking to us the whole time. She led me to her, and this was very easy to just recognize. And I'm telling you, I want to show you. Yes, I want to show you the parking. So this is the floor that we live. By the way, I'm going to show you right here.
But this is our floor.
So floor 7, and this is our parking spot. We live on the 7th floor, and everybody has signs with the number. See, random number. Our apartment number is 35, but my wife just moved the car. Our parking, which is 27. 27. So, guys, like I said, when you embrace these miracles, it's not just a cool thing, or you don't just document it to show it one day to somebody. But when you embrace these miracles, bigger miracles happen. More and more discoveries on a spiritual level are manifesting themselves right in front of you. You start to manifest things, getting a deeper meaning. Like even your challenges in life or your things we have to face in life, getting deeper and deeper. And it's so amazing, and it's so refreshing. And the only reason I went live today on 11/11 is for you to resonate a little bit with that, to let it speak to you, to maybe try to kind of manifest these miracles in your life as well. Because this is This is the best way to live. This is a true life of a purpose. I'm doing it. I'm supposed to be all up into this war and what's going on. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Like we really, and I'm not saying this to sound, heaven forbid, negative or anything like that. But technically, we're going to be gone tomorrow. Like we don't know what's going to happen in a second from now. But yet we don't let this affect anything. This is the journey of the body. The soul can embrace this. There's nothing on this earth that can even touch the level of your soul, the level of your light, the level of your courage, the level of your love. And I tell people, if I need to pray for somebody, I don't necessarily pray for them to have money or to always be in better health. I mean, that's obvious. I mean, we want that, but it's all what's meant to be is meant to be according to their soul contract. But when I really pray for somebody, I pray for them to see miracles. I pray for them to cross that barrier or to peek, you know, behind the veil and see their soul and their life and their events in their life that where it's supposed to be played. Because this is the best way to live. We can take life any approach. Part of free will is not just free will to do whatever we want, but it's free will to react however we want to what's done to us, isn't it? Really, free will is how do you react to how the world treats you, how life treats you. So you have to look at that this way. You have to really, the concept of your life should be a body experience and not the other way around. And the more you manifest these miracles, the more other things are manifested with that. The point of ascension is to get to such consciousness that you're no longer doing for yourself in this world, but you awake enough to really help those who need it. This whole universe is based on balance. There's balance in everything we do. Everything physical in this world is balance. When you go do a blood work with a doctor, all they want to make sure that your that your numbers are balanced. With every test there is, everything has to be balanced. Cold, heat, darkness, light, levels of oxygen, and the spiritual balance in life is one of the most important things that you can ever work on. But like I said, you have to meet your miracles halfway. You have to seek for the answers and not wait for them to come to you. Once you seek for them, you find the true answers that you need. Because in this world, the world of illusions, when we can be manipulated by almost every little thing, it's very easy to lose track. You can live the life journey, the body journey, which is a journey that's going to please your body, that's going to make you comfortable, it's going to feed anything that your physical consciousness need, and then you'll tap into your soul every now and then. That wouldn't be, unfortunately, the life of purpose. You wouldn't be able to rise enough to face the next level. But when you hear and you see miracles, and I'm going to go and read your comments in just 30 seconds here. When you see miracles in your life, don't look at them as a one-time thing. Don't look at them as a coincidence. And don't look at them from the perspective of, I'm a human being and here I had something supernatural happening to me. Your miracles are the most natural thing that can happen to you. The body is the illusion. Just remember that. So let's go read some of your comments. And again, thank you for tuning in. This live was really about my personal experience, but I really hope it touched you. You can always look back and kind of listen to it again and see some of the signs and some of the pictures and kind of find the synchronicities. Because not always you can capture, what do you call those, like tooth fairies and kind of show them, hey, they exist. Look, capture your miracles. But the lightning bugs, or those, how many can really catch them? And then sometimes you catch them and they still have the light, and you're like, come on, before it goes away, come take a look. So it's the same thing as sharing miracles. Is you gotta capture them. They're out there. So let's see. Hello, Susan. Hello, Susan. I'm an ancient soul. Well, the fact that you know it is an amazing thing. And I hope you live like an ancient soul too, with everything that goes with it. The more ancient soul you are, the more is spiritually expected from you in this physical realm. When I began to love me, everything changed. Of course, it all starts with unconditional love towards yourself. You love people and receive love only from the source of your own love. If you love yourself, your life is manifested to you accordingly. You can even do miracles on your own, not miracles that come to you, but miracles on your own when you love yourself enough. And love yourself is not the what you see in the mirror or how you look or how popular you are or how much people, how many likes you have on Facebook, all this not important stuff. Love yourself enough to wake yourself up spiritually. Love yourself enough to know your soul. Love yourself enough to stay away from anger. Love yourself enough to battle depression and sadness, to stay away from all these elements and stick to consciousness. A boy can be very scared in the same bedroom that he lives and sleeps in if the light is off. If the light's on, all of a sudden that bedroom becomes a playroom, right? What's the difference? He can see. He knows what's around him. He knows the purpose. He knows where everything is at. He knows where he can go and climb and still be safe. Same with consciousness in this world. Same with spiritual consciousness. Once your light switch is on, you're playing. You're fixing your room. You're decorating your room. You invite people to your room. You can explain your room better. But people can be in the same room with no light and just all they do is freeze in place. That's what people have the feeling of I'm stuck. I'm spiritually stuck. Well, love yourself unconditionally. Pursue justice for yourself. And everything you do for yourself will reflect from you on other people, and these other people will love you back. You won't even have to work hard for that. You never need to work hard for people to love you. When you love yourself enough, it will reflect. It will be like magic dust around them. It's going to turn them to just make you the most likable person. You shine from the inside out. How can you shine? You love yourself. You know who you are. You love yourself unconditionally. And because you love yourself, you're always going to do good. And because you love yourself, you're always going to try not to judge. And the ego is there. The ego is there to try to balance us. The ego is there to do exactly the opposite. The physical body is the complete opposite from what we need to do. Everything that the physical body needs and wants is the complete opposite of what the soul wants. It's like a battle rope, and they're cool. Each one to each direction. Let go of the rope. Let the ego fall with the rope. You ascend. You fly over. I tell a lot of people that try to talk to me about religion, and I'm like, listen, I don't want to talk about religion. I don't want limitations. I respect and I understand that people find God through religion and find themselves. That's a path. That's an avenue. That's their choice. That's their contract. That's beautiful. But to me, I don't want to be a street camera. I don't want to see only to the end of the street and then I have to put another camera somewhere else so I can see another field. I want to be a satellite. I am a satellite. I want to zoom out and see the whole picture, the whole humanity, the globe. I want to understand the why, not just the hows. And that's the difference between religion and spirituality to me, only to me. I'm only speaking on my behalf. I'm not speaking on any other behalf, only my behalf. Because everybody have their own behalf and they should. But I want to be a satellite. I want to let gravity take me 360 around the globe and see things for how they're supposed to be seen. Because when you are a soul, you're not only a satellite, you are the universe. You are the universe. That was a long answer, but hey, I get into this trance. I don't even remember what I say. Just go with me. You know me by now. So thank you, Evelyn Claudia Henry, for your beautiful enlightenment. See, you can ask a question that can be just, hey, once I love myself. And she didn't ask a question. She just said that everything changed when she loved herself. And I resonated with that, and I had to elaborate on it. So thank you. Orly's writing in Hebrew, and I'll translate. Good week, Moshe, Mike. When are going to be some Hebrew lectures? Because it's fascinating. Well, I'll tell you, I've tried it before, but it wasn't meant to be for me to start a group in the Hebrew language. The people who follow my page in English are not just followers. The people who, because I see everything from a spiritual perspective and I give everything a spiritual interpretation, the people who follow me, even the people who watch these lives now, they're all part of my synchronicities in life. Just like the number 27 said. Everybody's supposed to be here. He's not like, oh, let's just check it out, I guess. No, I don't see that life works that way. That's somebody who plans their life according to their body journey. They sit there and be like, okay, numbers, how many we have, views, 3,000, how many likes, how many that. All of a sudden, spirituality is just like a little method to generate popularity, which feeds the ego. I am not your teacher. You are mine. And this is what I want you to understand here. This is the whole secret behind my page. I'm not any teacher. The soul guide is simply a mirror to some other souls that are going to just help reflect light on one another. And it's really, really important to remember about me. I'm not a teacher, but I'm your student. And some of you don't even know who you are as souls. And again, you don't know because you're not supposed to know now. There's a divine timing for everything. There's a divine timing for everything. So I told people that I had a session with last night, a beautiful couple. I told them this. I said, it's not enough to believe that you have a moment of awakening, that you have this purpose. Not enough, because that's only 50% of the job. You have to believe in its divine timing of when it's going to happen. We didn't choose when to be born. We don't really choose when to conceive a baby. I mean, we can try, but we never know when. We don't choose when to fall in love for the first time. We don't choose when to pass, right? We just go with it. We know there is a divine timing, and for some things in life, just like a pregnant woman who will wait the whole full term because she knows full term meaning a healthy baby, so she'll trust the divine timing and not try to rush things. So with your spiritual awakening, once you know you're there, let it take you. This, when you're in spirituality, this time you're taking the passenger seat. You don't have to worry about taking turns or speeding or braking or anything. The spiritual realm, the soul knows where to lead. You just need to connect. You just need to align with it. Okay. So that's to you, Orly. Maybe if it's meant to be, I'll do something in Hebrew. Again, I don't plan things. Things plan me. Let me see. Leslie saying a coincidence, a corporate incident. Yep, exactly. Exactly. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as coincidence. Coincidence, when we say that, it's thinking with the mindset of ego, of science, of saying like, it's a coincidence, it can be spiritual. I mean, it's statistics. You can't think like that. Find the miracles in everything. Sometimes I'm going to share with you, and I'm getting on tangents here, but I lived in a place where I really loved it because it had a big pond, a lake in front of my house, and it was like middle of nowhere in the sticks there in southern Illinois. Beautiful fall weather. I'm just sitting out, and that was part of my spiritual awakening because you have to go through this like isolation moment. I mean, it's almost inevitable when you're spiritually awakening. You have to really get with yourself. Somebody asked you about love themselves. So how do you fall in love with yourself? You have to spend time with yourself. You can, Even when have loved ones, it depends on you. You give them light, they give you light. You inspire each other, but to love yourself, you have to have time with yourself. Some of the biggest spiritual or religious leader, there was all them just by themselves, and it's not because of being antisocial or anything like that, but you really need to align. And aligning is seeing exactly where your body is compared to where your soul needs you to be. And it's really, really important because you recharge spiritually. And what I used to do, and it's amazing, is to wake up spiritually. Is I used to look at these sea turtles, the family of sea turtles, just every day, just stare at them and just give it such a big, deep meaning. And I would look at the grass just moving side to side in the wind, and I would look at the clouds and I would just give it such a deep meaning. And I didn't realize that that was how I meditated. Really, like you can meditate anywhere, anyhow. I mean, any way you want and anywhere you want, because once you just let that divinity take you, let that other consciousness just expand. And if you concentrate on something, that especially if it's nature, it's all driven by angels, by the way. So it's always pure. Okay, that's what people love to look at animals. So people connect to pets. That's why nobody can ever say my dog is evil because it barked at somebody. Never. We can joke about it, but we never say that because we know as human beings that animals are never evil. We have that knowledge because they're not. They're part of creation. They're angelic beings. Angels are in the trillions of types. It's not just what you see from folklores. So wow. So okay, Orly had a comment here. I know it's in Hebrew, but I'll have to translate. So if I can, Orly, I can say I had sessions with her one on one. Her son passed away, and it was this beautiful soul. A lot of psychicness was involved there that I helped her. But now she said her son's date of birth was 17/7, and she showed up to this live that we're talking a lot about 27, 17, and 7. Everything is connected. Again, there is no coincidence. This page will never ever bring a coincidence or doubt or anything here. Here, it's when you go with your soul, you go 100%. There's no doubts. There's never a single doubt. When you live a full spiritual life, you lose doubt, you lose fear, you lose all these things. And I'm not saying you're not going to be a human being, but you lose those feelings in their core. Okay, fear will be there to challenge you, but not to intimidate you. Sadness will be there to test your strength and not to bring you down. Depression will somehow make you rise up. And do you know what I mean? Like you have to look at these things as tests and not punishments. Unfortunately, a lot of people see things in their life that are not the way they expected to live. Is I'm not, I'm cursed. Nobody loves me. I'm just no. How about you see it as a challenge? Do you ever see an athlete in the Olympics going to do a jump or something and then say, "Hey, everybody hates me"? It's like why? Because it's too high. Well, you're an athlete. You just came here to show that you can overcome, right? So what do you think we come to this world from? We come to this world for overcoming. That people ask me, what's the purpose in life? Overcoming. There's no better feeling than overcoming. You ever met somebody who overcame something, like cancer survivors? Do you know the power in overcoming? Overcoming equals spiritual victory. And you have to understand it. When you know your purpose in life is overcoming, then you'll be like, okay, now I'm playing this role not as a little scared soul that doesn't know what to do or what tomorrow brings. No, I come as a warrior, but not a warrior that goes to war to conquer anything, but a warrior that goes to discover its own essence, to peel off any piece of ego there's out there through overcoming, through reacting, and everything with submission, with love, not with any negative approaches, if that makes sense to you. Thea said, "Love your smile when you showed up Lisa's parking space." Yeah, that was because that was amazing. Like you see these things, and if I tell you, hey, an angel's gonna visit you tonight, and an angel does visit you tonight, aren't you gonna be excited and happy? So I don't need to see an angel in front of me to know that an angel is visiting me constantly. So when I smile like that, when I get into this natural high, when I get like this tightness in my chest, but yet I can breathe perfectly, then I know angels are around me, all the time. And once you know they're there, they're there. You meet them halfway. You don't like, oh, I wish an angel will come. Like, angel's here. So it's part of the things you need to know. Let's read another one. I'm sorry, I'm getting over a flu, as you know, so I'm going to sip a little bit of tea again. Between my daughter and I have pair numbers every day: 1111, 222, 333, 444, and 555. Sometimes serial number with and anywhere without photo numbers. Thank you. Okay, let me tell you something. If it's between you and your daughter, that solely indicates that you and your daughter have a spiritual task here together. If something is assigned to you, I mean, presented to you together, and it's something spiritual, meaning synchronicities, meaning things are coming in sequences as well, especially sequences. Sequences showing that it's stable. It's like it's all your signs you need. If it would come just once a year, you wouldn't think it's biblical, it's heavenly, it's angelic. You wouldn't think that. Look now, there's 11 views and 11 reactions, likes, loves. It's 11:11 today, by the way. So you got to pay attention, by the way. Always have your radar on for these things. Don't don't be like, it's cool, but keep it to yourself. Celebrate your miracles. And if it's between you and your daughter, like I said, when you see these sequences, which are all again portals, portals, portals. To them, there's also letters. To letters, there's musical notes. You can combine them, and all messages from different consciousness. Numbers come from one realm, letters come from other realm, musical notes come from another realm. So all these realms of consciousness can send us signs. Birds, butterflies from another realm. Okay, dreams. Why they come in different variations? Because different realms send us different messages. We at the time even living in different realms. We just don't know it. We have the fragment of our soul is in us right now, but our soul is not limited. So how can you put a soul in a 180-pound body and confine it there? Absolutely not. So you are everywhere and here, and not just here and might go everywhere. You already everywhere, but you also happen to be here. So if you're in this consciousness, that's the game. That's this in today's this season means planet Earth. See it as like a season, okay, of the same show with the same character. Next season you'll be somewhere else. But once you know that you're the actor, once you know your script by heart, once you know everything is really fake and just last 80, 90 years and not forever, you'll take it in a different approach that you might take it if you just clueless about what's going on. So good to know you have a joint task, spiritual task with your daughter. I can't tell you what it is because you and your daughter needs to find out. Let's see. When I was into astrology and needed my time of birth, I kept asking my mom, who's in spirit, if she can tell me the time, and I kept seeing it every. Exactly. So, Melissa, you gave the perfect example. When we establish connection, okay, we have to really treat it in most of seriousness. Unfortunately, because we are in the physical body, we tend to look to our miracles as like flashes, like glimpses of things that happen, and poof, they go, and they might never come back again. And we can't do it. We must take the most serious thing. Okay, if our body would have something concerning, right? The modern medicine will go and have all the tests possible to make sure that that person is safe and healthy. If need be, they'll take biopsy and they'll take it to this lab and that lab. Why? Why taking it so seriously? Why trying to figure out if just one symptom, like what's the rush? Or we can just say, okay, it is what it is, but why do we need to figure out? We do because once we know what we're dealing with, we can deal with it better. When you have a sign that is spiritual, that's about 100 times more important than a physical, God forbid, medical sign. If you have a spiritual sign, not only you don't forget about it, you manifest it, you try to go back to it, you ask for more, you meet it halfway. You show that you're ready to receive it. If you treat your miracles like a fly or mosquito that came in front of your face and you're just like, okay, I saw you, I noticed you, just go away, then why would it come back? Now you're not aligned. Now you're more towards your life journey versus your soul journey, if you know what I mean. Another comment, Mike, I told my dad that whenever I see 0725, I know he's with me. Number shows up wherever I need it often. Another example. Another example. You need to believe. If any of you is old enough, like me, to remember the movie The Never Ending Story, and I said it before in one of my podcasts. In The Never Ending Story, the whole idea was that kid that his grandpa, or no, no, not the grandpa, he read a story, he found a story in the library. He was hiding from these bullies. And once he was getting into the story, um, he was told that he can change the plot of the story. Like he can change the destiny of that kingdom that he's reading about. But he only had to do one thing, to believe. So as long as he didn't believe in what he read, the whole world, they called it the nothing in the never ending story. So the nothing was the lack of believing that there is another world. So the less you believe in that, the world is just disintegrating, disappearing. So a kid that's reading it is supposed to save the kingdom, but he couldn't unless he believed. So towards the end of the movie, he believed with all his heart and he was able to save the kingdom. Same thing with our soul. The more we believe, the more we know. Not even believe. I don't like the word believe. It's the word knowing. The more we know, the more we learn in what ways we need to love ourselves, in what ways we need to treat life unconditionally, how to give unconditional trust to people, unconditional love. It doesn't matter. I know we live in the world that the ego can hurt us, people can hurt us, but we don't take responsibility for other people's choices. Of course, to an extent, we always want to be safe and defend ourselves, but I'm talking about generally in a soul, on a soul level. Try to be godly. Try to be just and right. It's the perfect road to manifest yourself these miracles. And when they come, embrace them. Embrace them. And they don't come just through numbers. Numbers is just one way. And music have a lot to do with it. I'm telling you, music is one of the biggest portals to the afterlife. Let's see. I was born knowing life changed my path as I was learning to be human. Now I'm enjoying the greatest of time, loving myself and others unconditionally. I spend pink bubbles of protection. I send pink bubbles of protection about you. Be human is good. It's a privilege, but know that you're a soul, and know that there's a lot that you are a human only for the purpose of the soul, and not the other way around. You are a human. You have a human body. You have a human reality, so you can do good for your soul, and not the other way around. When you do good to your soul, then your soul can allow you to live this world, which is challenging. Okay, if the soul had a choice, the soul would never come here. It's baptism in fire. It's a jail, a physical jail. So, but I'm glad. So again, this is self love. Self love is on a way deeper level than you love who you are as a person or your talent. That's also, but self love is from way deeper places. Like you don't think about what you can do in this world. You think about who you are, all the way to the root, all the way to the seed, if you would. Really sending love back to everybody and light. Good. I like how you guys connect. It's beautiful to see, and that's sharing light because you resonate with each other. Do, 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 do. Let's see. Benny, let me read this. What's this? I can't understand. Okay. Anyways, let me read here. Benny's. We have three elevators in my company. Several times the lifts are on the same floors as indicated in the digital numbers 333, sometimes 555. I know these are signs. As long as you know these are signs, that's all you need. It's all you need. And that's what people have to understand with intuition. The main thing, the biggest, largest source of wisdom you will have in this world to deal with this world is not limited to what you know, what you learn, and what physical skills you acquired in this world. The biggest, deepest, most genuine type of wisdom you have is the wisdom that your intuition, your soul gives you, meaning signs, letters, numbers, all these things. All these things will be manifested to you once you actually believe and connect. There is the knowledge of the subconscious and there's the knowledge of the conscious knowledge, which is the physical one. I know I'm a human being. I know I cannot jump from a certain height or I'll hurt myself. I know I cannot go without eating for a certain time because I'll hurt myself. I know my physical limitations. But when it comes to your soul, there are no limitations. When you come to your conscious knowledge, there are no limitations. And this is how you should live your life. So, yeah, I'm looking at the time and this is it. I'm even going 10 minutes past what I planned, but I really appreciate you um, for coming here and listening and watching and seeing all these proofs. Like I said, I'm going to show it again here. Um, Different examples of the 27, 277, all the things that we documented with the list, and of course the videos that I showed. It's technically was just meant for you to kind of manifest it for yourself, if you would, and that's the most important thing. So, thank you again for all your prayers. Thank you. Go. Oh yeah. So I forgot to share another thing. Um, we got two emails of house for sale for I guess this website. I don't know if you guys can see it in this camera. Oh, let me see if I can maybe do something. Oh, there you go. You see the price of this house in that ad? Let's see if you can see it. Anyway, there's too much light here, but it says 277,777. I will upload it after, but it's 277,777. And yeah, my wife wanted to just point that out. So there's more things coming. And again, I think that we got to conclude here that nothing is a coincidence in your life. Nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Be happy. Every morning, look forward for these miracles. Look forward for what the day is going to bring. Be grateful for what you have. Don't need what you don't need. Learn to get over the ego, which is learn to have the need to give over the need to receive. Always have the need to give over the need to receive. Fill yourself up with light. Enjoy the small little things in life that money cannot buy. And I'm telling you, you have to align with your soul. Once you align with your soul is going to do the miracles for you. You just sit back. You think you know everything, but you know nothing. Sit back and see how spiritual things are manifesting in your life. And no matter what happens to you, no matter what happens to you, when you have the spiritual knowledge, you will climb any mountain there is. You will never see challenge, you only see opportunities. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And may God bless you all.